Chelsea Football Club, the transfer window might be closed, but apparently we're still sniffing around and trying to do business. There are two areas that we're going to talk about. Number one, the striker. It looks like the Frankfurt CEO has come out and basically put down a gauntlet, told us how much it'll cost to get Ekitike. He's basically said, come and get me. Manchester United apparently are interested. I'll tell you why that's not true. Furthermore, we're looking at somebody that should be in the NBA rather than the EPL. A 6'6" striker that is 23 years old, plays for Stuttgart. I don't know his name. However, I'll learn to pronounce it by the end of this video, and we'll get into what kind of player he is and why Chelsea are interested in him from Stuttgart. Finally, the biggest one of all. Chelsea are in a position where the goalkeeper in Petrovic wants to leave. We want Mike Maignan. Mike Law goes onto the Londoners Blue podcast, basically explains the story that he's aware of why Petrovic wanted to leave, why Petrovic wants to leave, and why we might not be going in for Mike Maignan. I'm not happy with that. And finally, the prize money for the Club World Cup's crazy. And I'm going to tell you why Chelsea are going to take it seriously. And when I tell you these numbers, a lot of you are going to start rubbing the sweat off you because they are huge. I can't believe the numbers I'm going to quote, and you won't either. So let's get started. Now, but before we get that, number one, hit that like button. It's the best way for you to support the channel. Number two, subscribe. We're super close to 41,000. And number three, my TikTok's in the pin bio below. Today I'm talking about Florian Wirtz and how everybody's having a meltdown about the price. So go check it out down there. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day. Let's move on with the video. Hugo Ekitike. So one thing that I find very interesting is a lot of people want Ekitike. A lot of people. As in, from the Chelsea fan base, Chelsea Football Club usually is the most polarized fan base ever. Why? One person likes him, one person doesn't like the player. This player, I can't lie to you, 95% of people I speak to like him. There are a couple of people that call him skinny. They say he needs to put some muscle on. They say he looks like a long distance runner rather than a football player. But it is what it is. I think he's a very talented footballer. And what has come out? The CFO of Frankfurt came out and spoke to Sky Germany and Plettenberg and basically said something that, I'm not going to lie to you, really rubbed me the wrong way. He said the player's worth £84 million. You want him? You know the price. Come and pay. We'll happily sell. However, we don't need to sell. We are not interested in selling our player. Hey, when someone says it like that, I can't lie to you, I respect it. The conditions are here, pay the money. They sold Koulibaly, they sold Jovic, they sold Aller, they sold Mamouche. They always find a way to replace. I can't hate. One thing I can say is, this is a stupid price. This price is beyond ridiculous. £84 million is beyond ridiculous. And also, they're trying to spark a little bit of a, as I like to call, a tug of war over this man. They know Liverpool want him. The only way Liverpool can get him is when Darwin Núñez can get sent to Saudi Arabia. If that happens, they'll be in. However, recently it broke out Manchester United want Ekitike. I don't believe it. Man United want low transfer fees, high wages. They don't have at the moment the money to be paying £84 million. And if they want him for £84 million, it might even go higher because there might be a transfer war. So I don't see it. The next thing that we need to talk about is Woltmade. Woltmade is a German striker that plays for the German under-21s. He scored a hat-trick at the under-21s Euros. Good on him. Well done, mate. But Chelsea Football Club are interested. So according to Bild, Chelsea have open talks with the striker. Chelsea have open talks with his representatives. They're trying to understand about him. And they're going to try acquire his services. What I'm going to say is, the window's closed. But for the next 2 months, we're going to be linked with Tom, Dick, Harry, everybody in sight. Like anybody in sight, we're going to be linked with. This kid is the new hot prospect on town. For me, I've seen him play. He's 6'6". He looks like he should be in the NBA, like rather than in the Premier League. I am not convinced. This would be another signing where I just say, you know what, stay with Delap, stay with Jackson. Let's see what we can do. People are going to tell me, oh my God, he came from the Bundesliga, Alex. You need to trust. I don't want another prospect like this. I know more about Hugo Ekitike. Why do I know about it? Because Ekitike has been around longer. And more importantly with Ekitike, when I watched him live or when I've watched his comps, I can see how it can translate to Chelsea. I've watched this guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't impressed. He scored a hat-trick and I wasn't impressed. So that's me personally. Like, let me know in the comments below. Am I being very harsh on him? I might need to do a deeper dive, but on initial looks, just think the guy's very mid. This next story is one that I need to talk about. Buckle up. This is an interesting one. So when it comes to Petrovic, Petrovic is an interesting player, right? He's meant to be a Chelsea player. I think all of us were saying he needs to have an opportunity this year. I, for one, went on the limb and said the whole multi-club system for Chelsea breaks if what they're saying is we need to develop players other places and they'll come here. It breaks if Petrovic doesn't get given a chance. However, Matt Law's now come out and said something very interesting. So we all know he's not going to the Club World Cup. We're not having a meltdown over that, right? It's not a big deal. As long as they give me a new goalkeeper, I won't be complaining. He said 3 weeks ago, Petrovic basically put down a foot and said, look, I want to be a number one. I do not want to be a number two. And if you can't make me a number one guaranteed from the start of the Club World Cup, I don't want to go. I'd rather stay at home, sort my future out and move on, keep it stepping. This is very interesting, right? Because Matt Law said that's what he's been told, and he made it very clear he hasn't been told anything else otherwise. Personally, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think he put his foot down and said, I must be the number one or I want to leave. I think what Petrovic wanted was a fair crack and a fair chance, and most probably his camp and him believe he's better than Robert Sanchez. I actually believe that too. So in his head it was, am I going to have to sit on the bench until Robert Sanchez makes more mistakes, and then after a few mistakes you're going to give me a chance? Or am I actually going to get a chance? It's my shot to lose. Because what I did at Strasbourg is impressive. Clubs want me, and I want to leave while the iron is hot. And the reality is, that's very responsible from Petrovic. It's responsible from Chelsea not to take him there and carry an unhappy player. So all in all, this saga makes sense. He will be leaving. There will be players that come in for him. I don't think the fee is going to be as high as people think. I've seen people say 30 million. What I think is going to happen is close to 20. I think Chelsea will view it as a success. He was the number one for a bit, went on loan, helped Strasbourg out, and then he left for a profit on the books as well as in transfer value. This is happy days. What I didn't like was Matt Law saying the book for Mike Maignan looks to be closed. Initially, he was told Chelsea will go in after him at the rear end of the transfer window rather than the opening outset. And the reality is Chelsea surprised him, and he said he's very big on not being able to, actively go and say, Chelsea, I'm going to do something, because they've made him look stupid enough times. But he doesn't believe they're going to go back in. However, it's someone they admire. Personally, if we don't get Mike Maignan and we don't improve our goalkeeping position and go in with Sanchez, I'm going to be very disappointed, because I think Sanchez, in my head, the idea was we don't need a goalkeeper if Petrovic gets given a chance. I know what I have with Robert Sanchez, and I know it's not good enough. I know what I have with Jurgensen, and with Jurgensen, Maresca doesn't think he's good enough. So all of a sudden, that leaves me with one solution. Get a bloody striker, or get a bloody goalkeeper. And if you can get me a goalkeeper, we're all good. We're all Gucci, and we just back the new guy that comes in. But if we go with Sanchez, I'm just going to be like, look, this is a glaring error. This at most, it's a top 4 team. At most, unless Sanchez develops rapidly. The Club World Cup is starting, and I can't wait. Look, a lot of people aren't excited. A lot of people say it's a fabricated tournament. Listen, all tournaments were like made up at one point, didn't have credibility, and at the end of it, we all got involved. I personally am very interested. It's going to be free on DAZN for those of you that want to watch. DAZN, hit me up if you want me to work with you lot. I'll happily do match reviews. You know, I'm very entertaining. Retention on this channel is great, but I'm going to be covering it. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be enjoying it. But the most important thing here is, and I think a lot of people need to understand, is this is a huge opportunity for European clubs especially to make crazy amounts of money. So the way the coefficients are broken, based on your ranking, you get more money. And somebody did the maths for me, and this is absolutely wonderful. Like, if you think about it, right? So initially, for participating, Chelsea are going to get £30 million straight away, just by going there, being in the group. After that, in the group stages, every match you win, you can get 1.5 million. So if you win all 3, you get 4.5 million pounds. If you draw a couple or draw one, you get 800k. Still a lot of money. Chelsea will still be trying to do their very best to win as many games as possible. The money after that just amps up like crazy. Last 16, you win it, you get close to 6 million pounds. After that, 10 million for the quarterfinal, 16 million for the last 4. And if you get to the final and lose, you get 23 million. And if you win, you get close to 30 million pounds. Look, the reality is the money is crazy. The money is absolutely stupid, and the money gets to a point where it is encouraging teams to go and give it their all. It doesn't matter if their players are going to be tired. It doesn't matter if their players are in a position of like fatigue. These players have to step up. These teams are not going to cut corners, and what will happen is it will potentially open the transfer window to go get a Hugo Ekitike. You might be able to make enough money where they didn't budget for it, and all of a sudden you're like, yo, I've got crazy amounts of money here. Like, it opens the door where Rodrigo becomes available, you can go get him. So for me, do your best. Absolutely win as many games as you can. Send the shockwave around the world, and more importantly, make yourself a more attractive prospect. Winning breeds winning. Chelsea won the Conference League. What's the next thing to do? Win the next trophy available. That's the Club World Cup. Go in there, try win it, enjoy it, and these young players will love it. But like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and in the pinned comment is my TikTok. Go check it out. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day. Bye.